This is the August 2022 meeting of the Southwick Agricultural Commission. I'm Bert Hanson, the chair. We have Commissioner Marissa Coco-Burgon. We have alternate Zach Barnett, and on Zoom, we have alternate Sage Fury. So that is a quorum. So we can do some business tonight. Let's see, Cindy, has there been any additional mail or anything? Yeah, okay. And then we have the minutes of June 8th, which are in your folders.
Were they emailed so Sage has a copy?
I
don't think I got one.
No,
I don't remember getting anything. But
there was an email this morning.
I haven't really been on
I
that.
couldn't find everybody.
Yeah.
As I typed in their name, it didn't pop up, so someone that went there.
Yeah, I didn't get one. I just got a copy of the actual meeting.
I'll forward it right now to Sage.
Cool.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
First.
So the first time I did it for you guys in minutes, so if you, whatever you like, you don't mind, just mark it up. And
Yeah. I just have one little correction. Otherwise, they're good.
Yeah, this is great. This is more detail than we usually get, so this is fabulous. Well done. I did read them from the email, so thank you.
Skip. Sage amendment. Sage, did you get the minutes?
Yep, I'm just trying to open it.
Okay. So Cindy, I can just tell you, on page 2 under the master plan section, second paragraph toward the end, it's Patrick Judd, Judd.
I think it's actually Jubb, Jubb.
Jubb?
Yeah, Patrick Jubb, right? The
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, when I went back and re-listened to it, Zoom on YouTube, the writings and.
You know, I think you're right. I think it is Jubb. Sorry.
Either way, it needs to be updated. Right?
Your top is looking very like Hawaiian.
Oh, thank you. I needed some color this week to cheer me up, so I said I'm going to be wearing bright colors
Nice.
from here on out. Yes, make a statement, right?
We love the colors.
Oh, thank you.
See your mother outside gardening all the time.
Oh, yeah. I got it from her, so.
Always out there. She kind of drives by.
She's out there all day, yeah. Yes.
Marissa, did you have any edits to the minutes or?
No, I thought everything
Patrick
looked
Judd.
pretty good, other than Patrick Judd, which I hadn't even noticed, but.
Zach, you,
No, it's pretty good.
Sage, anything on the minutes?
It all looks good to me.
Okay.
Other than the already mentioned.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
I second.
Zach seconds. We'd have to do a roll call vote. So Bert Hanson, aye. Zach,
Aye.
Marissa,
Aye,
and Sage.
I,
All right. Okay, under
I'll-
new business, oh, go ahead.
I'll virtually sign it.
That's right, yeah, we gotta sign.
Oh,
this.
yeah, right.
So let's go right to the Sofinowski Preserve and our two guests.
Yeah,
You wanna-
please come up.
This
Just sit there.
sure.
Yeah.
They were the-
This is Carol and Dana Gway. Actually neighbors of mine. Butters of the Sofinowski.
Longtime acquaintances. Okay, so I gave this presentation to the Conservation Commission and Marissa
Here for
invited me.
people to see.
It's
Oh,
there,
right
so-
there, rather.
Mm.
Oops, sorry. Thank you.
That's good.
There's a map for those.
Thank you for coming.
That's right. I can- Oh, okay. Thank you.
So this is the Sofinowski Preserve, and I'm just gonna be talking about this area where the ponds are.
Mhm.
And this is an entrance. It's not the same entrance as the community garden. It's just to the north of there. And this is our property, and this is the entrance that the tractors come in when they mow the property and so just the topic, my issue is that where the yellow is here especially, it's becoming very overgrown and with saplings and underbrush and all sorts of things. And you know, it's really kind of gone downhill since, was it donated to us, that property, or was it bought at a very low reasonable
It was
price?
bought through community preservation
Okay.
funds, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when the Sofinowskis owned this, they really took good care of it. It was very, and I have pictures. So just, that's my issue, is that it would be nice to keep it in a good condition
Mhm.
like the Sofinowskis had it.
Mhm.
So this is the entrance that I was talking about that goes along next to our property, and we've been mowing this area for the last couple of years because there was a guy that would come and take care of that for a while, but he just didn't come anymore, so we started,
Do you know who it was?
no,
Yeah.
some guy with a zero-turn mower. I'm sure someone.
But it was
does.
someone that the town had
Yeah,
hired and
yes.
they stopped at some point. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
So we take care of just, you know, because we want it to look nice.
Mhm.
This entrance area and up through here and over here a little way, we just keep it mowed, and down here. It's not a big deal. Okay, so this is the entrance, and this is just
That's definitely overdue.
the side view of the small pond, which I threw in here because there was an empty space, but anyway. This is the side view of the big pond back in around 1994, and you can see it was kind of wide open.
Mhm.
And now, this is now the side view of the big pond. It's just, you can't see, you can hand that around if you like. And this is the pathway between the two ponds. Back in 2003, this is around the time when we acquired the property. And you can see that it's very cleared out,
Right.
and it was beautiful. I mean, you could really see both ponds. And now this is the pathway between the ponds, and it's just kind of a narrow tunnel. And this is if you were standing around this area and you try to look at the big pond, this is what you
Yeah, see it.
would see.
That's good.
I have a question. So for all these areas you're talking about, especially by the pond, was this like kept by lawnmower, or was this something that had to be like a brush hog or something to maintain, do you think?
Well, the Sofinowskis had a lot of equipment, tractors, and they did have sheep. So the sheep did a really good job of
yeah.
keeping things clear. And it's really gone downhill a lot. This is the front side of the small pond. You can see that the pond is very easy to
Right.
see. And now this is the front side of the small pond.
Carol, would it be okay with you if I took some photos of all
Oh,
of this?
sure.
Perfect, thank you.
Sure. And this is the back side of the small pond. That's my husband.
Mhm.
Back in 2002, we helped Sylvia with clearing some trees. And now this is the backside of the pond
Mhm.
now. And same area here. And this is a roadway in that
Mhm.
same area on the backside of the small pond, which is just kind of not there anymore. So,
You know, it's obvious that it has grown up, but seeing these pictures, it's
I
really
know, you
dramatic.
forget.
Yeah,
It
it is really stark. That's why I would like to take them and send them to the other commissioners so that they can see kind of.
So since I went to the last meeting, my husband and I walked over there to check it out again. Since I went to the last meeting, the guy did come and brush hog.
Okay.
But he can only do so much because there's trees and saplings
Right.
that have
Mm,
grown
They're
up,
gonna have
you
to
know.
cut now.
So we feel like there's some areas where, you know, overall, it would be a huge task to do clear all around these ponds, but there are some areas where you could do it where it's not too wide,
Mhm.
like especially on that pathway that goes between the two ponds, where you could pretty easily clear and at least allow a view of the ponds for hikers and things,
Right, right.
because I understand that it's a nature preserve and there's lots of nature in those ponds. But as hikers go around there, you can barely even see the ponds to
Mm.
appreciate the nature. So there's, at both of the ponds, there's a couple of areas where there would be a minimal amount of clearing to be done, you know, just to get a start on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be best if people could come and see, because it's, you know,
Yeah.
pictures.
So what, this is, it's a little interesting that conservation had you come to us, because this is really a conservation.
Right,
yeah.
so that's,
Yes, she just invited me, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Because,
yeah, we work with conservation a
Yeah.
lot, so. It's
Right.
good, that's good, I'm glad you're.
Probably the more people that know about it, it's
Right.
better.
Right,
right, and the reason why I wanted this to be presented at the Agricultural Commission is that there is so this part of the land is under some sort of, I don't know if it's a conservation restriction, but it's something where the Conservation Commission technically is in charge of it, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. And then there's another part of the land, the garden, where the Agricultural Commission is in charge of it.
okay,
That being said, we should read from the conservation standpoint what the stipulations are, because whether it's a conservation restriction or whether it's something else that was kind of deeded into that land when it was purchased, we should be really aware of the rules of what can be done.
Mm.
Clearly, something can be done because the way that it was even 20 years ago
Mhm,
shows that there can be some degree of maintenance done. You
mhm.
know, so I think we should start with reading that, and then I think therein kind of lies the answer for finding out what the two commissions can do, because I do think agriculture, even though they're not technically stewards of that part of the property, we have a vested interest in making sure that the whole property is accessible. I think if we're
Mhm.
marketing the community garden,
Mm.
we should make sure that the trails
Team
are in
effort.
decent condition. Exactly. This is the
Mhm.
cross collaboration between boards that exists, or should exist. So, and we do have some money in our coffers potentially. and We'd have to see maybe as well if we can do fundraising or do other volunteer things
Yeah,
to see if
do
this
like a
can come to
volunteer
fruition.
Cleaning, or
Yeah,
it's something
like a-
maybe the DPW could help out with as well.
Well,
Right.
I also acquired a pretty good condition zero turn, so I'm willing to go up there with it to clear some stuff too.
I mean, I've got chainsaws and stuff too.
Yeah, we
but-
have chainsaws and a truck and a dump trailer and all sorts of things, but we're not so young and we can't, it's too much of a, and plus we don't have permission to do it. That's the other
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I
I don't
think
know,
the first,
insurance would come into play with people cutting on there.
well, that's where reading the conservation
Yeah.
restriction, if there is
Yeah.
one, and going back to the Conservation Commission, would be important. I'm no longer a member of the Conservation
Okay.
Commission, so I think somebody from the commission should go to the next meeting. It can be me as a member of the public, but I think, you know, it would be worthwhile for somebody to go. Maybe a couple people can go together and see what we can think of.
Yeah.
First of all, read the documentation and then from there, make up
Where
a
do we find
plan.
those documents?
That should all be online,
Okay.
actually, within the town website. And conservation should have some good guidelines in terms of how to interpret it. Sometimes there are, you know, certain
Right.
terms or verbiage So,
I mean, this is one of the places where I thought would be a good opportunity to do a minimum of work with a good result is on this pathway. Like where there's a minimum amount of things that need to be cut to have, get a view of the pond. It's not like we're gonna clear cut redwoods or,
Maybe we could schedule some kind of field trip to go and check it out.
a site visit, yeah.
Yeah,
because
I'd be interested in that.
I would be happy to give a guided tour whenever.
No, and I think
I-
another thing I'm reading this restriction, you mentioned that there were sheep there before. So I'm wondering if there's anything in the restriction that prohibits maybe farmers in town bringing their animals to pasture there for one day. You know, other communities do that in terms of
Well-
land maintenance.
I don't think the fencing is good enough anymore.
Yeah,
That, when the Sofinowskis were there, it was pretty much fenced in, but I don't think, no,
Put them on leashes.
they would be all over town and then that would be another meeting.
Yeah, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, maybe we
mean, I
could
just-
also, maybe we
Go
can
ahead.
put a collaborative meeting together as well between us and conservation to come up with like a plan, see if they're willing,
Yeah,
Because I
and then we
mean,
can get ideas.
when people give generous donations of land like this, it seems like we should make some effort to keep it in the state that it was. Cause
Agreed.
this part where the ponds are was one of the really spectacular parts of the property.
Ron does some of the maintenance for the garden, right? The tilling.
well, he does the tilling.
Yeah.
In the spring and fall.
and I think you mentioned at the conservation meeting, the
He doesn't need a
Solex do some,
The Solex do the mowing of this hayfield and then up here, there's another meadow that they
right,
do.
so they do that one as well.
And then over in this area, they do the brush hogging,
Yeah,
like over in this, but like they can only do so much.
Mhm.
And they do a
Yeah.
good job with what they do.
right, right,
So you kind of see if we had a, look at the documents,
yeah,
have a site visit, field trip type thing, and then maybe we have a
Work day.
work day.
Yeah.
With conservation and us, maybe community preservation.
Let the whole town come.
yeah, put a call
on
out for
Facebook or
volunteers, we
something.
can get donuts, coffee one morning and
Yeah,
spend the
I'd
whole
love
day
it if we
there.
could see the pond from the community garden.
that'd be true.
You can't really see it from there now. I mean, you can if you.
Well-
Look.
Yeah.
What would be a good idea about this is also it brings more notice to the garden. Because not a lot of
Right,
people know about it.
But win-win.
Yeah, we should be supporting kind of each other's missions on different commissions in town. And I'm glad that you brought this up because this whole topic of stewardship
Mhm.
of lands that are kind of common lands, public lands, this is a really relevant topic with North Pond. So, this could potentially be a model for how to get volunteers involved with
Mhm.
cleanup and maintenance and maybe even like land stewardship. So I
Yeah.
think this is a great opportunity.
I
for
mean, I hate to
for something.
bring this up, but we've done quite a bit of hiking on the properties in Granby, Connecticut,
Mhm.
and they really
Yeah, they're fine.
maintain their.
Yeah,
their-
like
their-
Dismal Brook, have you been down there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just started going there.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine they probably, I know they have a lot more taxes, higher taxes there, so that
Mhm.
money is always a big factor.
those are all private lands actually from the land trust.
Okay. so
And the
it's
people
not
who take
related.
care of those are actually volunteers. I was just speaking
The
with
way they have it
somebody there.
organized seems to work.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
have a cadre of volunteers. Dismal Brook is broken up into several parts. The field in Dismal Brook is managed by 2 volunteers who go a couple times a week, just check in
Mm.
and report back, clean up.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and it's,
So
a
well.
really
kept.
interesting model. I wonder
Yeah.
if we could do something like that with Sofinowski, purely
Mhm.
volunteer and have it rotational maybe.
Mhm.
People get really invested with their field or their brook or their one, I mean, from what I was hearing
Mhm.
with the land trust president as he was explaining, and I thought, oh, I wonder if this could be maybe.
Because I'm all for open spaces and I want to get more of them, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we've got to take care of the
Exactly.
ones that we have.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hiking's getting
Conservation-
bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
What's getting bigger and bigger, Sage? Sorry.
Hiking is
Hiking,
it's
yeah.
becoming really big in the recreation. So why don't protect it?
Mhm.
Oh, Dana, did you want to say your thing about it?
The pond to the left between us and the Hansons, where's the picture of that?
Here,
This one?
oh, the photo?
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay, right in here, years ago, there's a pipe that goes underneath the ground here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And years ago, we had problems with beaver in there, and
Mm.
they came in, they trapped the beaver, moved them. Then they dug it, they took the old cement pipe out, and they put some PVC in there, but they dropped it down deeper into the ground. Now this pond, I mean, I know we got a drought and everything, but it looks like a swamp now.
Hmm.
Because
They
there's no,
made the water
hardly no
level.
water in it. They need to, they don't need to lift the pipes up. Because all they
Who
need to
did
do is
that
put
work?
like a
Kyle?
90-degree, the blue pipe.
Yeah.
They put a 90-degree elbow on them and bring them up so you get the, because all the water from here is running over this pond over here, and you
Yeah.
can't even see that pond over there to begin with. And a lot of
Right.
people walk by this one, it
Mm.
looks like a swamp out there.
Who did that work?
I don't know. I don't know who did it.
I felt like it was, they wanted to lower the water level at that time to do with the beavers.
To do with the
get-
beavers.
to get
but
rid
it
of them.
just,
But then they just left it like that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
It just doesn't look good at all.
it's something we could show them if they came
And
to
there's a
see.
rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a rock right there, see that rock?
Yep.
You can see almost all of it.
Oh, really?
And it's a big rock.
Yeah.
You know,
Can
it's
can
something
someone
needs to
shoot a
be-
picture for me?
Right here.
No, I'll get a close-up for you too.
It's the
think
big, the
yeah, you
big
have that.
pond.
I appreciate it.
And that one should look good because everybody's walking by it. The other one you can't see.
See it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Try to focus on that
Yeah.
camera.
So, did I forget anything?
No, I guess you're good.
No, this is good. Thank you. So I think conservation met on August 1st. Does it meet again, do you know, this month? or-
Conservation meets August 22nd again.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if their last meeting actually happened because I couldn't even log into it.
Oh, you know what? There was no quorum.
I was the only person there.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Langley.
Can't quorum yourself, huh?
No, but I guess that's not grounds for staying on that commission, so.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Won't get any of this.
No,
It's no longer.
but the work, no, the work continues, and I think a joint site visit would be great, just so
Sure.
that we
Yeah,
can,
absolutely.
both commissions
Yeah.
can kind of talk about shared areas and divvy up the work and. Yeah, I think this is possible.
The only thing is, can we try to make it a weekend? Because unfortunately, my newest job, I'm not around on the weekdays anymore.
That's
Yeah.
probably true of most.
Oh,
people,
yeah,
that
I'd
they-
say weekends
Yeah.
are definitely a go, for sure. Yeah,
On the 22nd.
Because I really want to partake in this.
Oh, good.
So maybe the 22nd is actually pretty soon. So maybe that weekend of the 26th, 27th, 28th, maybe? For a site visit?
Oh, for a site visit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I would just say maybe bring it up to conservation. Their agenda is gonna be made tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can we get on?
Okay.
So they may not, yeah, I'd say get on the agenda for sure. And I don't know at that point, on Monday to get consensus if.
Yep.
They can also,
If they
some
even
people
meet.
can meet that weekend, that following weekend, yeah.
If they even have a meeting.
I mean, it
Yeah. if
it
they- if
didn't
they have a
even take
meeting.
that long to show
Yeah,
the area.
yeah,
Oh yeah, half an hour out of their day.
Yeah,
yeah, I think most would be willing. I know that there's some work they're doing around North Pond and kind of spending some weekends there, so that's the only reason why I'd check in with
I've seen a
them.
lot of cars down there lately.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna have like an info booth this weekend there, so I don't know if
Oh,
they
cool.
plan on doing that next weekend to try to educate people.
an info booth
Like, just educate people who are going into North Pond, you know,
on
how to,
picking up their stuff. and-
yeah, just kind of standing there, you know, explaining what,
Respectful.
yeah, how to go into the property and not leave a trace, and so I don't know if that's gonna happen over a few weekends, maybe. I think they're
Mhm.
trying a few different things, so,
Are they having issues with that?
yeah.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good wake up call for all of the public lands that we have in town, that they,
Sure.
they're gems. We
Mhm.
need to figure.
They don't maintain
Yeah,
themselves.
it's one thing to
No,
have it, it's one thing
yeah.
to keep it nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you
very
so
much.
much for
Thank
coming
you very
here,
much.
Dana. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank you.
much. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Okay. So. Here, if we're gonna have a site visit, someone will contact. me.
Yeah, I'm definitely will.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
talking
guys
about-
for coming. Thank
Hey,
you.
you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Speak for the other people.
We didn't have to-
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely go to the meeting on the 22nd.
Yeah, I'll be there too.
Okay. Then our other new business thing were the signs, similarly, the signs for the Sofinowski Community Garden area. I mean, speaking of visibility, you can't really even see the community garden from the road. I mean, there's the two
No.
driveways.
Right.
Apart, but there's.
If you don't know
trees.
it's there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Best kept secret. So. I think Sage, you were suggesting a sign like at each entrance.
Yeah, just something to catch people's eyes. I mean, I don't know if a permanent sign or a vinyl sign in the beginning, but just something so people can actually see the darn thing, because I've missed the first entrance like almost all the time. I'm like, oh wait, there it was. Thankfully, there's a second.
Right, and I'll be honest, I didn't even know that this was another access point to Sofinowski. In terms of
Yeah.
just walking it, I know you can't park there per se,
Right,
but
Right.
if it is public land, it should, if it's a trail of some
Are
kind,
there
it
any
should be
trail signs
marked.
up there?
There are trail markers.
Yeah.
Yep, there's, they're color coded. There's a
Okay.
orange, a yellow or red.
Nice.
Yeah,
So I would just bring that up with conservation
Yeah.
as well, maybe that we could help with the signage by the garden, but maybe there's other signage for trails that conservation can work on for this part, if that is indeed a trail, another,
it is definitely.
yeah, so that would be kind of their jurisdiction and they have the monies for that.
Yeah, so maybe we can
Yeah, good joint.
share the expenses, right?
Yeah, make a nice design for both
Yeah.
of them or something, yeah.
It's good when conservation and ag work together.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Perish the thought.
So.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, so how do we wanna? Maybe do some kind of a mock-up
Of a sign?
of a sign, a potential sign or signs?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I guess, what would we want the ag sign to say, I guess,
Yeah, we'll have to. Think about that.
maybe I'll go down and see what the existing sign looks like and kind of work off that and see what's missing and.
The banner that's at the garden or or which signs?
Is there another sign?
Well, I'm sorry, I thought Sage was talking about the sign, or the lack kind of a sign to signal that there's something there from the road,
Yeah.
right?
The road sign. We don't
There is
have
no
one right
road
now
sign,
there.
Right?
No,
Now, there is
we'd be
that
making it from scratch.
landscape area and it has a wooden sign that says, Sofinowski Preserve. above.
Yeah.
And then below that, there's a banner that says.
Right,
community
that's what I
garden.
was thinking, okay,
Um,
but
yeah.
we're talking about something closer to the road, like yeah, but
Right.
you actually know.
Yeah,
it's
just a
there.
here, we exist.
There's something here, turn here.
Don't go
Yeah.
straight ahead, just turn here. It's required.
Yeah, I mean, I still might look at the verbiage that's on that other sign on the inside, just to see what can be
Yeah.
pulled from there and
Oh,
then
yeah.
mock up some designs, so,
Uh,
developing, yeah.
I don't want to say the issue, but the Sofinowski Land Preserve is there's a lot of letters. So. We'll have to see how to.
Turn here, very simple.
Turn here, what you're missing.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be worth it.
Okay, so.
Detour sign.
Marissa, I could do you have time to maybe mock something up? I could send you a picture. of
Sure, if
the
you send me a
existing
picture,
sign.
that would be great. I'll just add that to my to-do list, yeah.
Okay.
And if you do want help, Marissa, let me know.
Yeah, I was
I'll
gonna
send
say,
it to-
between,
I'll send it to
Sage,
all you guys, all.
Yeah.
y'all.
that would be great.
Uh,
I'll just mention this as well. There was interest from conservation to do a site visit to Sofinowski, just in general, in terms of kind of better stewardship.
Okay,
So this is coinciding, I think, at a good time.
yeah. Good. Oh, maybe walk some of the trails even, because the trails need,
Right, that's
Work.
what they were thinking,
Yeah.
exactly, and, yeah, so I think this intersects with that pretty well, yeah.
okay, good. Um, Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I'll send a picture of the current sign around. Are there any? I could easily drive over to like Dismal Brook and see what their signs look like.
Yeah.
Um,
That'd be very helpful.
Well, there's a kiosk at all of the Granby Land Trust
Yeah.
properties, and I know that there's a kiosk or some sort of structure in front of the community garden, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Who manages that? Is that conservation or is that,
Conservation,
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense, actually, because conservation is discussing redesigning kiosks at, or designing kiosks for other properties, so.
Okay, yeah. Now, kind of to the point of our previous conversation, the sign, the kiosk hasn't been updated in a long time.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
forever.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, that would be another space for collaboration with them, because
Mm-hmm.
if the community garden's right there, it'd be good for the kiosk to actually say something about
That's
the garden that's right in front of it, so,
Even the map of the plots, it'd be nice to have a little blurb right there on that kiosk.
Mhm.
Give people an idea
Oh,
if
map of
they
the
go there.
plots. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because then they
Right.
could just look at the numbers and be like, oh, well, that number looks blank. Let's go and
Great
apply for it,
idea.
you know?
right, right. Or they at least know what's, yeah, what the layout is.
Because I already have one of those layouts, so just have to print it, make it, put it right on the board.
Sure. Okay, good. So old business, commission reappointments.
Any update?
It turns out that several of our members were reappointed at the select board meeting on Monday. Even though it was not on the agenda, there were several commissions reappointments that were on the agenda: economic development, historical, conservation. We were not on the agenda, but several people were reappointed anyway. All the alternates, Sage, Uzak, Brett, Marissa, and Ron Cicchini
Mhm.
to the 3-year terms. I had hoped that, with Dennis no longer with us, that, excuse me, one of the alternates would become a full commissioner. Or I had sent an email to the select board about that, but for whatever reason, the appointments were made Monday night anyway. So
Was it just like an oversight or?
I'm not sure.
They always oversight.
So that, that means for all the alternates and Marissa and Ron, you have to go, get sworn in.
Right.
Get the open meeting law, certify that you got the open meeting law document, and there's an online ethics test.
You can only do that every single year.
Yeah, I know. Well, as an alternate, it's a 1-year appointment.
Wow, okay, gotcha.
So
So will we get an email about that?
I'll email.
I think Gene used to email that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, did.
Actually, no, I think someone else downstairs.
Well, in terms of swearing in, it's the town clerk's office.
Right.
Um,
I think we used to get stuff from them.
so anyway, I'll check that out and send you
Okay.
guys. Info about that.
Because I didn't realize that alternates only 1 year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For the master plan committee update. Where's that? Which one I got it? There you go. There was a meeting August 4th, and so just a quick update, there's a survey that
Yeah.
residents are filling out.
Yeah.
As of the 4th, there were 369 surveys that had been done online and 14 hard copy versions. If you all haven't done it, please do. Please email your friends.
Yeah.
Say, hey, survey. That's the deadline is the 31st of this month. There are signs going up around town to remind people about it. There's one at the old library now, and there's going to be some at various other locations. And then after the survey is done on the 31st, there are going to be some kind of listening sessions or focus groups, potentially Thursday, October 13th and Saturday, October 15th. And then after those, there will be focus groups by topic. So housing, transportation,
Business development.
business development, those kinds of things.
And that
So
link is right on the town website?
yeah.
Okay.
It is, and there's also Master Plan Committee has Southwick 2040.com. Cool. We can get it too. So. Let's see, the open space plan, our right to farm disclosures and the farm brochure. We do have the right to farm disclosures now. Cindy, I'll give you one too. This is, as we talked about, we're going to distribute these. I want to distribute them around town hall, actually. Because I don't know if everybody who works here knows about this. And also, and I think we could even make a little packet with the right to farm, the farm brochure.
Yep. It's a great idea.
I'm gonna put together a letter, not for the real estate agents, but for the town employees about. Or for some of the town employees about the chapters 61A and B process. Because as we know, with the Art Pennell's property at 72 Mort Vining, that wasn't really handled the way it should be. I just think it's a matter of,
Is that something Dennis used to handle?
yeah. So I think it's just a matter of they're kind of educating folks as to what's going on there. So. And have we talked, Marissa, about putting these farm brochures around town?
No, we haven't, Mr. Chairman.
Let's talk about that.
So yeah, here are the farm brochures. We have 1,000 of them. Sage, I'll drop one off in your mailbox on my drive.
Thank
home.
you.
So unfortunately, there's one big typo for number 11 Solic Farm, producing hay and natural raised bead instead of beef. So I'm afraid our proofreading sessions didn't
Yeah,
go
maybe we could
manually
fix
fix them. Yeah,
put a
so
little sticker somehow. Find the typo.
find the
Win
typo.
a, get a chance to win a prize.
Yeah, exactly.
Free bead.
Yeah. Right.
No.
So
Win a tour of the garden.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I apologize for that. And next time, I've already made those edits in the master copy of this document. So anyhow, my thinking though, being on the master plan and distributing, being in the throes right now of distributing brochures for the master plan, including at a lot of the farms and businesses in town that would be receiving this brochure is that I think we should wait until the master plan has concluded with their kind of PR effort over the next month. It's supposed to be less than a month because we're
Mm.
trying to do this push now. I really think this would might, you know, just clutter
Yeah.
things a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Overload.
Yeah, I would propose waiting until September. And if anything, we'll
Yeah.
have the list that the master plan has, that I have of all the businesses and farms in town that are ready to receive brochures.
Mhm.
And they can just switch out farm or the master plan brochures
Yeah.
with that. And I think we'll still have plenty left.
Mhm.
Or we can always order more, so.
And this is gonna. This is, as we sometimes say, a living document. I mean, so for example, Pumpkin Valley Farm. I just saw on the town Facebook page that Stan Broska has retired.
Oh, really? So
So,
no more,
so apparently no more, pay rides and.
Where am I gonna get my pumpkins?
completely, the farm is kind of,
Oh,
It seemed like, I mean,
that's an APR farm, so.
good point.
Maybe he'll
Good
do
point.
something, I don't know, maybe hay it, I don't know,
Yeah,
He can always rent the land out to someone else, right?
right,
good.
it's true, so.
So, okay. Here's another thing to check out. This is just why farmers aren't the right people to be on this commission. They're gonna go in, hey Stan, are you retired? What's going on? Are you, So, I mean, I don't mean to be tongue in cheek about it. I mean, it's serious. It's important stuff. Okay, good thought, Marissa, about waiting till September on running this. Our next agenda, this gets right to our open farm day agenda, and I just saw on the sign at the Methodist Church that there's a farm parade on October 22nd, which I wasn't aware of.
I was gonna ask if you had been agree with that.
Yeah,
Because I thought maybe, when the parade ends, if you have open farm day. Same here.
that would be awesome. Yeah,
Just work it all out.
so
The
Yeah.
farm parade, since it's happened in since its first year, like 2018, 2019, it's been managed by the Civic Fund, and there really has
okay.
never been any sort of involvement of AgCom. I think the first year they asked if we would promote it, which we certainly did. We were excited for it. And it's a great event. That's awesome for the town, but we've never really been, I guess, more involved beyond that, though we'd like to. I think it makes sense being an AgCom, right? So,
yeah, you would think.
yeah.
So I'll see if I can, well, Joe Didi, of course, is the guy who runs the Civic Fund, so. And I thought that might be the case since they recently took over the Methodist Church. Buildings. So. See if we can be part of that. I don't know. Cindy, you just mentioned Open Farm Day. We've been going back and forth about that. I think it's gonna be more like next year. Actually, it's a little. There's not really enough time to get it together for now. And
There's too many events going on.
too many events in September. Wally Park is booked like every weekend. Not that we would have Open Farm Day. Not that that's a farm thing, but just something going on, for town people to go to. And of course, school's back in session and, soccer and all that, field hockey, and all that stuff starts. So I'm thinking that a good time for an open farm day would be the 4th Saturday in August, starting next year. Because that would be, it's kind of end of vacation season. It would be right before school starts. School generally starts a little bit before Labor Day. All the summer stuff, the concerts and the theater and all that stuff that goes on in the summer is over before their fall stuff starts in, September. So anybody, what do you think? I think that
Well,
It's a-
it gives
but
us
in
time.
between time- Go ahead,
It
Sage.
gives us time. So like, to get all the farmers to be engaged with it as well. We can like pre-arrange what they want to do and how they want to handle their end. I mean, it gives time for everybody. So in a way, I think that is a great idea. And it is a great time in the year to do it.
Okay, yeah. Good.
At least
I
that's my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Other than that, you're looking at October.
right, and that's, you know, Lenita has said in the past, you know, like Columbus Day weekend is
Oh, yeah, that's-
bonkers to
yes.
them. So. So let's look at that, and we should, to your point about plenty of time, we should be talking to the farmers, you know, now, for next
Mhm.
year. And I think, Marissa, you made the point previously about that we need to set it up somehow so it's minimal impact for the farmers. You know, that we should have somebody from ag or from conservation or wherever as a kind of a guide at each location. You know, all those details need to be worked out.
Volunteers to everybody put in order.
Volunteer, kind of almost like docents, I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah,
And even get some students involved in this.
yep. Yep.
Oh, Lucas and his crew.
Yeah.
Let's see who he knows.
His soon.
The
to be
AgCom youth.
crew, we hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of, you know, I said in my email to you guys, you know, we need to. I mean, can we do all this stuff, you know, farm day, start a student program at the high school? Ag magazine, it's like a ton of stuff that we, all good ideas.
Yeah.
You know, but a ton of stuff.
Well, we do have a lot of people on the commission. We also have conservation who are trying to really work with. I think we should try and spread it out a little bit, see if we can get some committed from both parties. And then we start branching out for volunteers. Because I mean, like the magazine, honestly, we could even get some help from students too, because that's a background for them. That's having a little magazine in school. People like that kind of stuff if they're going into journalism down the road. And then you can also do like for Farm Day, conservation would definitely be a part of that if they're really interested in trying to preserve land. They can put in their own little history, a spin on it with us visiting farms and stuff with their research. I mean, we can find ways to scatter the work a little bit since we are, you know, one commission. Let's try and involve others. And that way we're also joining teams and we're giving more excuses to, you know, be collaborative. Because in the end, we all are all on the same team. We're all trying to do the same stuff. Protect the town, make it lively, educate everybody. And that's what we're doing, right? So why not involve everybody? Get all the hands on deck.
Amen.
Amen, brother. Yeah, okay, good thought there. I don't know. If we form a subcommittee, that comes up under open meeting.
I believe it does, yeah.
So let's just sort of, you know, think about that.
Right.
Good idea about the students, Sage, and if there's. And maybe the kids who do the yearbook in the spring, maybe they would, you know, those kinds of kids,
Yeah.
those kids who have those kinds of interests, you know, might.
Journalism's getting to be a big thing too. That's actually a good career.
Sort of back, I was mentioning earlier about sort of an educational opportunity in terms of the 61A rules. Our Pennell's property at 72 More Vining, when the purchase and sale came into town hall, it listed a price of $400,000. The sale price, as posted in the Springfield Republican a couple of Sundays ago, was $450,000. And I think that's another wrinkle that isn't quite kosher, you know. So again, another thing to
What,
look into.
yeah, I mean, what are our next steps for upholding Massachusetts state law? That's, something that I think the commission could help ensure that 61A land in the process for considering its sale, its purchase, its removal from that. When these things come up, that really needs to be codified. And I know Dennis and Chris Pratt had done lots of work in years past to write templates of what the town needs to follow in terms of
Mhm.
procedures. And this is something that a lot of towns in Massachusetts already have. And I think they had drawn, I think I gave you some templates. They had
Mhm.
drawn from those other towns to
Mhm.
create templates for Southwick.
Mhm.
I think this needs to be pursued because it is upholding state law, and it's illegal when things like this happen and it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the town. It's not good for the landowner. Those laws exist for a reason. So I think we should do our part as a commission, as commissioners who know a bit more about 61 of the chapter 61 programs
Mhm.
to just make sure, as I've heard in previous meetings from the select board, that we're all reading from the same book. So I think that's something we can help support, and I think if we take the work and read the law and codify it and put it in a straightforward way, it takes a lot of the legwork out for the select board to have to do that. And hopefully we can collaborate with them and making sure that that then gets approved and voted and becomes a standard going forward. I think we already have a lot of the work done, thanks to Dennis
Yeah.
and Chris. So what are our next
I
steps
think,
then? Yeah,
So let's, I'll double check to make sure I have those.
Yeah.
And let's revisit that and start a process of
sure.
bringing that up again. I'm not sure why it wasn't acted on previously, but, we'll try it again. And, I'm, how do I want to say this? I'm gonna assume good intent. I think the select board, just since I've been involved with agriculture and the rules and the state rules, the local rules, the various, bodies that get involved in land preservation, it's extremely complicated.
It is, yeah, it is.
And so I can't imagine being on the select board and having to also have the school department and the police and the fire and it's mind boggling. So,
Yeah.
to your point, we as a commission be proactive and help be sure
Help
that
where we can.
we can make sure the laws are followed.
Does the town attorney have anything to do with this?
He should be in the loop, I would say. I did have some conversations with him about the 72 Moore mining property, and he seems pretty up on
Okay,
the chapter 61.
should things be getting run by him then?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could we, for the next meeting, which would be, we presume the second Wednesday in September, is that what we're thinking?
Mhm.
Can we make it a goal then to have a working template to review? That we can then
Yeah.
analyze and kind of make sure that it's, in adherence to state law, and then from there, maybe we can work on getting it as an agenda point
Sounds
on the
good.
select board, agenda
Yeah,
after that
so
point, so
our-
that we can
yeah.
dialogue with them and get that conversation going.
And yeah, you're right. Our next meeting should be September 14th. Second Wednesday. Well, little tangent, but it bothers me when we're meeting and other groups are meeting at the same time. I don't know if there's any such thing as an evening when no group is meeting, but I wish, I wish we weren't sort of competing with each other for the public's attention, but we'll stick with second Wednesday for now.
Yeah, generally, who meets on second Wednesdays, other than us? Is it
Yeah.
this
Well, CPC is meeting tonight. I don't know if that's a regular
I think
meeting
it's a special meeting.
for them or maybe a special
Yeah,
meeting.
because they usually take a break during the summer, so I think
Yeah.
this is a,
So, anyway.
yeah.
Uh,
Again, the importance of maybe collaborative communication, hey, you know, CPC and ag have a lot in common as well, so I think in the future it'd be just good to, when we send agendas out, we send those out to every board chair, right?
yeah, oh,
Supposedly,
and it goes to, well, Cindy, you probably know, it goes to 30 people or so.
yeah,
you
I've
know.
seen it goes to a lot,
I bring it down to the clerk's office and Jim also shares it to those webs and.
yeah, right, and that's
It
how
may
it then gets
post it,
posted,
like, in the-
yeah.
Yeah. And that's true, of course, of all the commissions.
Right.
Yeah.
Just seems like despite that, this still happens quite a bit, you know,
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen.
yeah,
you know,
sure, it
that's a
happens,
Special meeting, we've had special meetings before.
right, yeah, yeah. No, but if it's kind of two relevant boards, that's tough because a lot of the people that then usually would come to this meeting miss out on this and, you know,
Yeah, I kind of miss our posse that we usually have.
yeah, they're all there at CPC right now, so they stole our crowd.
One thing I'd noticed, kind of off topic,
Go ahead.
we didn't ask for public comment. It's not on the agenda.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there is some chat here.
Oh, I'm
Andrew
sorry.
was here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we don't typically have a public comment section
Okay.
because we let public comment as they,
Right.
as they feel.
We didn't have the chat open. Andrew did mention something.
Okay.
I don't know if you can read it from back there.
I can't really. Let's see.
I did actually respond to him about it.
I
Okay,
see
thank
that.
you.
We just didn't notice it till right now.
We were off subject at the time, so I didn't really bring it up.
Gotcha.
I'm looking at the past history right now of our calendar. And the second Wednesday seems to fall with on and off with the library, park and rec, and the community preservation. We're always hitting somebody. So
Yeah.
we're gonna always be tag teaming. I think
Oh, right,
The-
I remember this, okay, yeah.
the first Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday seems to be the ones that are always empty.
Are showing data, whether it's accurate is TBD.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Can I just take a picture of what he said, so I have it for-
Yeah.
Yeah, the library already has the 14th already locked on September too.
Okay.
Maybe the first Wednesday of next month might be a better way to go.
Okay.
We have another guest. Come on in.
Okay, thanks, City.
So does that mean we don't know yet our next meeting date exactly, or are we
Are
still
we
gonna,
talking about changing it?
yeah,
I don't know, I mean, I think. Well, there's probably no, as I just said, there's probably no time, no evening. when there's
Right.
Nobody meeting. And I don't see the library as being such a conflict,
right,
you
yeah,
know, conservation, CPC, we're just trying to. See if we can have our meetings not conflict with other. groups,
relevant.
Other relevant groups.
We can-
doing the Same thing.
We can wait till I post theirs, then make our decision after that. Unless you think they'll wait till last minute like we sometimes end up doing.
I thought CPC was always every third Wednesday, but, so this was just an exception to tonight, okay, yeah, so maybe we should just, I mean, it's worked for us.
Yeah.
To do every second one, so we might as well. Yeah,
Yeah, let's.
I'd like
let's-
to attend CPC meetings too. so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, yeah, so let's stick with second Wednesday. For now. And we're almost at the end of our agenda.
I gathered that.
The community garden update, the youth members of the commission. Those both involve Dan and Ron, who are not here. Well, speaking of work days, hoping to get together a community garden work day, maybe with the gardeners, to do some more work on the fence and some stuff that needs to be done over there. We talked a little bit about the AgCom magazine. And then just a couple of FYI things. There's a retirement party for Fire Chief Russ Anderson, Friday, September 16th at the ranch.
Open bar?
I don't know, tickets are $30. I don't know if it's open bar.
I went to Chief Bishop's, it was for the first hour, I think.
Yeah, okay. I don't know where there was you sent me a flyer.
Cool.
I'll be in Germany.
Nice.
Whoa.
Sounds
Okay.
pretty cool.
Not quite Oktoberfest, but close enough.
Yeah, I get started early.
No, technically, if I go to Stuttgart, which I will be next to, they actually have Oktoberfest in September.
Oh,
And that's the
Strategic.
foundation. That's where they start.
Gotcha. Opening week.
Yeah.
And then the other FYI is, and actually Diane, interesting to hear is about the automated pork producing farms. Pig farms are not allowed in Southwick. Interestingly enough.
You don't see too many pigs in Southwick.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that came to be, and I'm not sure what the automated language has to do with, but if you want to check it out, it's section 185.
Factory farming,
Yeah. So,
mechanically separated pork.
so, I think that's pretty much our agenda. Dan, did you have anything that you wanted to bring up? Okay.
I did have one question, sorry to go back to communications. In terms of the Facebook page, it just reminded me, your comment about organizing something with the gardeners to be kind of a cleanup day. What's the status on the Facebook page? Is that being actively managed? Are meetings being posted on there to alert people? And what's the engagement like? Like what's going on
Well,
there?
I actually do have more people who have joined our page, and I've been posting things that I felt were relevant. And like when Bert has the MDAR information he sends me. But I have been posting our meetings. I just actually haven't made it this one because I was falling behind on a lot of stuff. But usually the meetings get posted 2 days, 3 days prior, as long as I know what's actually going to happen. And also we, like anything that comes to mind of say eco things that are going to affect our environment, like that lanternfly incident that's actually starting to really populate our areas. I'll put that stuff on there. And I mean, it seems like actually people are starting to join more and more as I post. So we're getting there. I think
that's good.
I'm not sure how many members we now have or people that follow it, but it's getting higher and higher.
That's
Okay.
great.
Trying to keep it active and try to build it. We got to get our message out there. So I'm trying to figure out ways.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Sage has kind of become our Facebook guy, but Zach, you have access, right?
I do, but I don't use Facebook very often anymore.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'll just put this out there into the ether, but Granby's Agricultural Commission, which like ours, functions through their town hall, has their own website that is managed by their AgCom team, and I think their town hall may have access to it as well, but it's a pretty good website in terms of information. Facebook is fine, for getting the word out, but in terms of kind of being a reservoir for information, and all the events they do, they drive people to the website just because a website is that much more agile in terms of just engagement, and
Yeah.
info and documentation about their own preservation programs. I mean, it's all there. It's very accessible. So I know we want to do a magazine. I know we were talking about priorities, but in terms of just information, that is something to think about.
Yeah, the information should be stored on the town website. We can always just post the links to it.
Right.
I would
right.
love to have a website for ours. We should.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
Yeah.
whole discussion that the master plan had. We
Right.
have a page, a landing page on Southwick, Town of Southwick website.
Yeah.
It's just that that's a very restrictive template. It's not very interactive. If you actually want people to get engaged, you have to put the effort into, you know, making like a graphically decent website that people can read.
Oh, so you're
So-
suggesting a whole separate website?
A separate
For
website,
us?
that's exactly what the Granby
Oh.
AgCom has. So they've been able to pull that off.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not a lot of work to put together a website. It seems
No,
like
especially
it.
if they have new templates that make it so much. I mean, I have my own website and
Yeah,
it's so easy now, instead of doing actual HTML code.
right. I did the master
Yeah.
plan website, for instance, because they ended up, going through with the idea to create southwick2040.com as a separate website. It
Right.
just sounds easier. I mean, there's also just the recognition part of like typing in like a web address that's easy to remember instead of going to townofsouthwick.net, looking for the AgCom page through there. And
Yeah, and the
That's
software
fine.
page is a little integrated looking.
yeah, exactly. So, people don't get the documentation that they need sometimes because it is really hard to navigate. So maybe southwickagcom.com or whatever in the future, like Granby has, it's just something to think about.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean,
we
you can
have a
make good
budget.
website in one day.
Oh, yeah, easy.
So,
Anyone can do it now.
right, it's super easy.
It really is. And there's actually quite a few sites that help you out on this to the point of where it's stupid easy. They like do
Yeah,
it all
depending
for
which
you basically.
provider
And you
is,
just
most of them-
input data.
Yeah, exactly. Throw some pictures,
Yeah.
throw some links to some good web resources that we want people to be able to refer to.
Well, then you also have all the control, which is great.
Right.
Because it sucks when you do Facebook and it's all third party controlled. One false word and they delete everything that you just wrote or informed.
Right. The Economic Development Commission, I believe, has their own or had their own.
Oh, really?
Yes, so there's a precedent for,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
They just don't update it.
again, it's something that needs to be maintained, just like land.
Yep.
yeah, and we
So-
have enough things going on, I think, where it makes sense to have that. If you want to have an open farm day, you need a website, I think, to really drive information and just basic stuff,
Yeah.
about that. If you're gonna do volunteer cleanup days, I think it's great to have a website too, to tell people, hey, these are the events we have going on. We're doing a cleanup at the community garden, Sosnowski. So pretty,
Well,
I
if-
think, important.
If we did decide on doing a website, I'd manage it if you want me to. I have the background for it.
There you go. Could also do a virtual, I'm thinking for the magazine, just post articles on there. You could start off small instead of publishing the
Yeah.
whole magazine, just
Right.
start off with a couple blog posts.
Yeah, just set up a blog page.
And
Yeah,
it doesn't cost money because it's digital.
right, and if
Right.
we then get enough of a following or get enough submissions, maybe then we can look into getting the monies for a magazine.
I mean, depending on the way we go too, you can get web hosting for free sometimes.
That I haven't been able to.
Well,
Fully.
It'll have ads on it.
You're right, the ads, yeah. that's the
I,
thing.
I honestly would go against the free because the ads can be ridiculous and you have no control over what they advertise.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah, and I think it'd be a matter of looking at the town's rule and handbook as well in terms of websites that are associated with a town commission. I know that Granby's does have something on there about being like part of the town of Granby, so there's still that component as well. So maybe they wouldn't want ads for, I don't know.
They gotta have a
weird
recommendation list on
things.
file.
Yeah,
They gotta have a list somewhere in town hall saying what's approved for government use.
I mean, EDC did it, right? So we can do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can find Granby's and just see what they're using, if they're using an actual government host or if they're using, off the shelf sites that just have security. I mean, I'll look what they have and next meeting, I'll let you know what I find.
Yeah, master plan uses Wix, so for us,
yeah, I've worked so.
yeah, and that,
So
been
easy.
approved, so it's.
Yeah, that
so
one's
easy.
actually very good.
and along these lines, should we start developing an email and text list so we can push it out to, you know, our members, constituents?
Yeah, they could sign up for it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
can
that's all.
actually set up a newsletter on the website.
Right.
And people will start signing up and stuff, and then when you forward stuff, they can forward it too, and you generate a population that way as well. And then we'll just post like crazy on all the forums saying, hey, this exists now, come here.
Actually, Wix lets you set up a free site first, and then if you like it, you can pay for it.
Yeah, they limit your access in the beginning
Familiar
and
if
then,
you can get away scot-free.
Yeah, they let you set up as many sites as you want, and then you just pay for the ones you want to be like the premier site.
yeah,
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, kind of like MailChimp or some of those other ones. Yeah, there's a free,
Yeah,
or even Zoom, you know, there's
Right.
a
Right.
free level, and then if you wanna.
Yep.
Do more, you pay for it. Okay. Very good. Any other comments, questions? Thanks for bringing that up, Marissa.
Sure.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's 8:20. I'll make a motion to adjourn the August meeting of the AgCom.
second.
Zach seconds, okay, it's so silly to do a roll call on this for people, but anyway, Bert Hanson, I, Zach,
Aye.
Marissa,
Hi.
and Sage.
hi.